introduce yourself, or let's introduce you.
Yeah, I'm Nicola.
Nicola,
and
your topic?
MIT with Andy. I'm talking about, no, what is the word? The word decent.
Sorry?
The word decent.
Yes.
What does decent mean?
Decent.
Yeah.
Decent.
So,
decent.
So I'm not gonna add anything to. I'm not gonna talk about anything technological because all this decentralization is a big word, and just the time you pronounce the word decentralization, you already lose the focus of the person you're talking to. Especially if this person is your mother, and you go to your mother and say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do and study a 10-year PhD at MIT on redecentralization," and she has no clue what you're saying. And the thing is that most of us said, "Oh yeah, this is a talk for normal people, not for DevOps." And I think that is all we're talking about is really a lot for super geek people that really don't understand what decentralization means. So push and explain what decentralization means. But the way I saw decentralization in a different way is when I understood that users don't control their data, things don't talk with each other, there's always someone in the middle of your conversation when you talk with someone else, while there is a lot of computing power, a lot of devices, everything is connected, but we don't use all of this. So when a person that is here in the room did a little illustration, she wrote decentralization. And when I was in Boston, there was one guy that wrote on the board decent.web, just to shorten the sentence. So I think the word decent is so great because what we are all building is a web which is decent. Like a web or a technology where things just talk with each other. It's decent when user has the control of the data. So decentralization is a good word, but the word decent is more easy to understand. So when I go and talk to my mother and say, "Hey, I'm going to build a web which is decent. I'm going to build a decent technology because this is what it's all about." So what I'm pushing people to use the word decent instead of decentralized, because decentralized is cool, but just for us. Well, if you say decent, it's like it has also some activist connotation because you say, "Oh, everything, this is at least decent. Everything else is just something else." Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, there's,
you can say descent. Yes. Yeah.
So you're
Everyone should
making
use their own imagination.
okay. So let me introduce Mick and your topic.
It's about research. So,
yes.
Research questions. So
Yes.
it's only going to be a quick one. It's just a minute. So it's just an appeal to people to come and talk to me if they've got any idea how I can shape some research that I'm doing. I worked on a location-based media application called Maximundo a few years ago, which was all about geomapping, geotagging, with the emphasis on if we build it, they will come, and they didn't come, and I learned a lot from that. I've just embarked on some research, and the title is I've called it Nodism. I've been cheeky and called it Nodism: the decentralization of private data, adoption, usability, and the required digital interface. An investigation into how suitable interface and user journey should be designed to allow the participation and mass adoption of the centralized internet. It'll probably change tomorrow. It changes every day. But what I'm interested in, I'm interested in designing some research. I mean, I've got thousands of students at my disposal, so I'm hoping to do some questionnaires soon. I'm trying to gather people's views and opinions, their awareness of the internet as it stands today, and whether they're aware of decentralized technologies. So I've got a list of questions I'm trying to put together. If anyone can talk to me about that, any questions I should be asking or any information you want to know from this large sample that I'll hopefully be engaging with. I'm trying to establish what the average user will look like. That's an incredibly difficult question, but how will the average user look in the next 5 or 10 years? Programming being introduced into national curriculum, what will young kids today look like tomorrow in terms of their technical ability and their their willingness to adopt new technology. So that's another series of questions that I've got. And another thing I'm interested in is education and how we can put together a select. Well, I'm looking to build some motion graphics, sort of audio educational, short snippet, sort of managed educational snippet. It's all about the things I've got: privacy issues and personal data, deeper understanding of internet technology, and focused tutorial and individual solutions about all these technologies you're talking about today. So if anybody at any time during coffee or whatever, people could come up to me, have a quick chat, if they've got any ideas about what questions I should be asking and how I should be designing this research, I'd be really grateful. That's it.
What kind of students do you have? What kind of area do you work?
I work for Salford University. I work in the Arts and Media department, but it's absolutely everything. Engineering students, language students, we've got the lot, so it's a whole spread. So I'm hoping to design the research so I don't just hit people who are used to using technology on a daily basis in terms of designing and building it, and more so a broader suite. So any suggestions I've got, I'll be most grateful. Thank you.
So we have our third talk. Oh, you've got a little box with you, a lunch box.
Yes, a lunch box. Hi, I'm still Hugh Barnard, I think. I believe so. This actually follows on from the little talk about my community currency software. You remember in 2008 and following, the banks that were too big to fail. Now, that's about the size of a bank, I think, in my opinion. I've no idea whether this will work because I've just run down from home with it, but basically it's got the community currency software on it, it's got an SMS dongle, and I've got power supply in my bag, and basically that's about it. My use case for this was we would go into the rainforest and we would actually nail it to a post somewhere, and that would be a bank, and that's all you need for a bank. And basically because all you've got is just transactions. You haven't got compound interest, you haven't got exotic derivatives, you haven't got any non-material commodities. I quite actually approve of bacon futures and things like that because actually they actually do serve a societal purpose. So sometime lunchtime, if this actually switches on and works, I'm going to try and demonstrate this. I'm not going to waste the conference's time now, but I'll have it with me. Otherwise, I'll switch it back on during the week following the conference and put some details about it on the mailing list. But basically, that is it. It's a bank that's small enough to fail. And thanks for the appreciation. Thank you. Excellent.
So, you have a talk.
Well, not quite. I've got something to point out.
Excellent. So,
I'll be.
introduce yourself
Sorry.
and you have a subject, I hope, or a title. Or something.
Whether I can hold this and talk at the same time, I might sit down. That's okay. My name's Richard Pope. Last year I set myself a slightly ridiculous task of seeing if I could build my own version of Google Now. I kind of failed, but I want to try and convince you in 5 minutes that all the components are there, and if you're a kind of considerably better programmer than I am, you can actually maybe build one. So really, really quickly, I think there's a few kind of pieces that you can kind of glue together. So firstly, like our mental models of our surroundings, we know fairly well. The likes of Google and Apple are trying to derive them, but kind of those things are available to us. So like if you think about the area that you call home, you can probably draw that on a map. Context and push are kind of easy. It's easy to send a push alert to a watch or a phone. Obviously, modern web browsers on mobile phones have access to a whole host of sensors. There's APIs for those things. You can get the data really easily if you like JavaScript. I think cucumber tests are potentially not just for testing code. We can actually use them as a user interface. Potentially, so this is an example of using it to run over Environment Agency data. And finally, I think there's huge value in OpenStreetMap that's not as a map, but it's kind of in the polygon. So this was an example of like, can I say when I'm inside a building, on a train, in a park? Anyway, so those kind of background, lots of components there. So I had to go at making my own Google Now based on that kind of thinking. So I did this. I called this thing Habitat. It was a basic Flask application that had some cucumber tests, stored in it, a location store, and basically anytime something got pushed into that store, the Cucumber test script ran against it. It had no auth servicing on top of that, so you could write kind of apps that talk to that. So the idea is that the Cucumber test would look something like this. So they would be, when I'm at a point in space, which my mobile phone has reported, when I'm in 100 meters of a particular place, then ping a URL, for example. Or another example might be when I'm in a park and the weather looks like rain, then send me an SMS. Or you could do kind of like more extravagant things and use power, Internet of Things devices, stuff like that. Anyways, I had a go at making this. It kind of just about worked. I didn't do much more than kind of prove that you could assemble those bits into something that, based on your personal information, can do some things. Sorry, it's not very well explained, but it's doable. I think somebody with more brain power than me could do that.
Thank you very much. So is that your blog?
Yes, it is.
So will we find that if we go to blog.memespring, is it? We'll find it. Yeah, blog.memescript.co.uk. And you're looking for Habitat. So we have another one, essentially?
Yes. Yeah.
So come forward, sir, come forward. This is a former colleague from the Rugby Lug, I think.
I helped start the Rugby Lug.
Yes. Well, I helped revive it.
Yeah,
So,
well,
so we know one another. So.
then I moved away.
Yeah.
So.
So introduce yourself and your topic.
Okay, let's check this works. Does this work?
Yeah,
okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Tim Ratu, and I have a confession to make. I've been inspired to stand up here and sort of testify that, and Alcoholics Anonymous sort of way, that my email is actually backed by Gmail, and for a long time I've been thinking about this problem. I think actually I've been guilty of overthinking what I need to do with this. I've been inspired this morning or scared into action this morning by a post on the front page of Hacker News. There's someone complaining that they tried to set up their own email and all of their emails just go into people's spam folders, because these days to set up your own mail server and keep it running, you need reputation. You need your IP address to actually get into the lists of active non-spammy mail servers. And over the years, this is becoming harder and harder to do, to actually set up a server and have deliverability of your email. So today, I'm partly inspired, partly scared into actually trying to solve this problem just by whatever means necessary. I'm going to sit in the corner and set up some mail relays. I used to do this 10 years ago. I ran my own mail, not anymore, but hopefully today I'm going to fix this problem and, start at home, think global, act local, that sort of thing. And I will talk to you. Yes, please. I'll be talking to you. And anyone else who wants to come and solve the same problem, come and find us.
So where are you going to be?
I don't know, but I'm very distinctive. So yeah, seek me out.
So you're inviting people with a technical expertise to join you, are you? Or
absolutely.
Yes.
If anyone needs any assistance with this today, let's do a sort of mini workshop. It might take all day, but whatever. I think we need to. Well, certainly I want to tackle this problem for myself right now, and screw the consequences for my deliverability of my email. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. So, we've still got time?
I think it would be great to have one more. I think we're still being finalised. Things are still being written on the whiteboard at the back.
So
is anyone with any talks that are related to decentralisation?
Anything that someone's nurturing?
Good, relatively long 2 or 3 minute jokes. Bad, long 2 or 3. No. Anything at all. So yeah, any laptops?
Yes, one here.
Here, off the cuff. Well done. Sorry?
Why not?
Why not? And your title? You have a title?
For the common good.
For the common good, yes.
I don't know how many people have heard that phrase before. For the common good. It's a Green Party slogan, it's a bunch of other things as well. I don't want to get political, that would go horribly wrong. It just, yesterday occurred to me that the reason why I don't use Gmail, the reason why I don't use Twitter, and all these actually very good services, isn't because they're not owned and run personally by me. It's because I don't trust Google, it's because I don't trust Twitter, I don't trust Facebook. And I don't trust them because they don't have my interests at heart, but also because they don't have everyone's interests at heart. They have their stakeholders, which is their shareholders normally, and that's their interest. There are other organisations which have a different model, and they are commonly owned, and they are also working in their own interest. Their own interest happens to coincide with their user base, which is great. There are cooperatives are setting off all over the place these days. They've been going for 200 years. There's a tiny little village shop in the North York Moors, and it's been there for 150 years. All it does is sell bread and milk and eggs and tea cakes to people in that one village. It does a wonderful job. All the profits from that go straight back into the community and stay there. If somehow we could make Gmail, Google, Twitter be commonly owned in some meaningful way, I would use them. What would that look like? That's it.
Okay, any more? You have an idea burning in your head?
Okay,
That's
so
what we talked about?
why don't we adjourn for 15 minutes?
Yes.
The session's going to begin in 15 minutes, and we'll hopefully have the schedule finished.
Well, I
by
can
that
see
time.
in the distance the magic whiteboard, and it's
Yeah.
nearing completion. So, 15-minute break, and we will resume as we did yesterday in the individual rooms. So, thank you very much.